Seattle, Washington, and Portland, Oregon make up the two major US cities in the Pacific Northwest. But what if I told you that neither was ever intended to become major cities? In fact, the Pacific Northwest equivalent of New York City was supposed to be located at the mouth of the Columbia River, but that city never materialized. Here's why. In the Pacific Northwest, there exists a region that appears to be similar to the San Francisco Bay Area on paper. It has a large body of water that allows for ships to travel in and out of and escape the rough ocean waves. It has plenty of peninsulas with relatively flat terrain allowing for settlements and towns. And of course, there are plenty of forests and timber nearby to harvest for all of those buildings. It also happens to be where the United States first envisioned the major city for the Pacific Northwest. But despite all of these similarities existing on paper, the reality is they're very different. When it was first discovered, the area where the Columbia River meets the Pacific Ocean appeared promising for settlement. Despite harsh rainy weather, for which the coastal areas of Oregon and Washington are infamous for, it would appear to have all of the necessary geographic ingredients for a major settlement to thrive, just like San Francisco does. But this is where we get our first major difference. Unlike the Columbia River Bar, the Golden Gate provides a relatively straightforward passage from the Pacific Ocean to the San Francisco Bay. This opening is framed by rugged cliffs and tidal currents, but the waters are generally calmer compared to the Columbia's entrance. And thus, the San Francisco Bay Area was able to accommodate a large port in ways the Columbia River Bar never could. So let's dive into the Columbia for a bit. The Columbia River is the prime artery of one of North America's longest river systems. From the Canadian